How you doing? My name's Jake R. From the South Jersey area. Um, just a little bit about my drug use. I started using when I was 14 years old. I first picked up and I tried weed. I figured everybody does weed, everybody in my high school did it, it's okay, it's nothing wrong. Um, my dad smoked for a really long time. I figured it was an acceptable thing. I didn't think it was anything wrong. He was an addict all of his life, and I never really knew what an addict was. It carried through his family, his parents, and it's just a genetic thing. Um, I'm 18 years old. I didn't know anything about addiction or just the disease of addiction. When I was 17 years old, I first found the drug of my the drug of my choice, heroin. Um, It's just, at first, I'd always tell myself, I'm never going to do that. I'm never going to try it. I'm never going to ever pick up anything else but weed. I'm going to smoke weed for the rest of my life. It was the best thing. I've been depressed since I was about 13 years old. I just started seeing help for it about a year ago. Um, the doctors always, they tried to give me medicine for it. I didn't like the medicine that they were giving me. So I stopped taking the medicine. When I stopped taking the medicine, I felt like there was this void that I needed to fill. I was always empty. I was always just depressed, chronically depressed, always upset. My parents would always tell me that I have everything to live for, that I have a bright future. I was a smart kid, straight A's in school. Um, and throughout high school, I'm a senior in high school. I get to school, all my A's, B's, all my sports, they go down the drain. I was running cross country 6 years. I was a captain of captain of cross country for 2 years. I was captain of track for 2 years, captain of indoor track and swimming for 2 years. And I was just looked up to. I was looked up to as a role model in my school. But nobody knew me really. Nobody knew who I really was inside because I always hid it. I finally just decided to say, F it. And I went and I picked up. I was around the wrong people. I just decided, why not? I'll just try it one time. Just to try it one time. And it was the best thing I ever did. Like, that's what I thought. From that point, started getting really heavy. I started stealing from the parents that raised me as a kid. I started just isolating myself. I threw away my scholarship for sports. I started failing classes, and I almost didn't even graduate high school just because of this addiction, this heroin problem. I was using for about 5 months until my parents finally came up to me and they kept asking me, like, are you on drugs? Are you on drugs? My mom would be bawling her eyes out. She would come up to me and always just say, what is wrong with you? They're like, is there any problem? Do you need help? And I would just lie to her. I was a manipulator. I'm an addict. I'm a drug addict. That's what we do. We're manipulators. We lie to people. We deceive them. We deceive everybody we love. The girlfriend that I was with for 2 years, I would always just tell her, oh no, I'm fine. I'm just not feeling too well. The days I was withdrawing. I ended up just being desperate. Like, everything that you love and you care about just goes out the window. Everybody can relate to this too, because you'll do anything you can for that drug. It's just because you're dependent on it. At some point, I was just so deep into it that I would do anything for it. I just would use a little bit just to function through school. I would have to wake up in the morning. First thing I would do, didn't even brush my teeth or take a shower. I would have to use first thing in the morning. After about a month of using, I was sniffing heroin, and then I went to IV. I was using IV for about 4 months, and that's when it just, got out of control. I couldn't take it anymore. I was working 2 part-time jobs, could barely make it through. I was failing through high school, and my life was just falling apart, and I just didn't understand why. I didn't think I had a problem because I was still just using a few bags a day, just using a little bit, and then at some points when I got money, I would be using more, and people would just say, you have a problem, you need to get help. And I never realized that those were the people that really did care about me. My parents, my girlfriend, my brother, they would always come up to me with the best intentions, and I would always think that they're doing it on purpose. Like, I would think that they're trying to get at me, they're trying to just send me away because they don't want me to be here anymore. They hate me because I've stolen from them. They don't trust me anymore. They don't want me here anymore. and it was the most painful thing, but finally they just said, we can't take this anymore, you're failing through school, you're not going to make it out of school, you're going to live on the streets, you're going to be arrested, you're going to be in jails. And I finally just said, okay, I'll go to treatment, okay, I'll do it. After 5 months of using heroin, I finally came into treatment, and I've been in this treatment center for about 2 weeks now, and it's the best thing I've ever done in my life. The last time I used, I almost OD'd. I was sitting in a parking lot and I almost didn't wake up. I passed out for 3 hours, and people came up to the window knocking on the doors and windows. My car was on, I was ready to drive. I was doing reckless things, just things that nobody would normally do, just things like an addict would do. And this is the best thing I've ever done in my life. This is the first step to my recovery, the first step to my new life, really, because there's no way I'd be able to live the way I did.